On January 28th, I published a video here saying that the U.S. could send special forces to Mexico. The new defense secretary just confirmed what I said. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth just confirmed that the United States could now conduct special operations against Mexican cartels now that President Trump has declared them foreign terrorist organizations. Just as I said. Be sure to like and subscribe. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth just said what I said 3 days ago. That with the signing of the executive order placing Mexican drug cartels as foreign sponsors of state terrorism completely opened the door to military action in Mexico. I said it then, and the Secretary of Defense just said it also. A lot of people might not have thought that that was actually possible, that just declaring them terrorists and maybe picking them off here or there. No. There is now the distinct possibility of United States military personnel in armed combat with Mexican drug cartels on Mexican soil. Also, it needs to be stated that if we bring the war there, we need to fully expect them to bring the war here. We would be foolish to think that they are not going to retaliate. I've read a couple of different articles now saying that cartels are preparing for war, as they should, if this is going to be the case, which clearly it is, and clearly I knew it days ago. If you're listening to this show, then you are ahead of the curve. I'm not patting my own back, I'm telling you the truth. Seeing this stuff is easy. The mainstream media just doesn't allow you to see it. This was easy. All you had to do was look at the last 24 years to be able to figure this out. So, with the confirmation now from the Secretary of Defense that essentially the United States is now at war with Mexican drug cartels, that is what you're just hearing, because throughout the entirety of the global war on terror, we heard that we were at war with terrorism. Well, guess what? We're now at war with the drug cartels. So what to expect? Well, I don't expect it to start tomorrow, but I would certainly expect to start hearing stories about United States military cooperation with Mexican military. I would expect to hear cooperation between Treasury, the DEA, and the Mexican authorities down there regarding the same things. Unfortunately, I'd also expect to hear of American casualties. These are some bad guys. These are some bad guys. And I realize that they don't understand the level of violence that's going to come at them because they're the ones who usually inflict the violence. But they are very good at inflicting violence. All you have to do is look at hanging bodies off Texas bridges, people's heads and hands being mailed to their family members. These are some sick dudes. These are some sick dudes. And like it or not, we just declared war on them. It may not be a congressional declaration of war, but it is as much. Considering what that authorization entails, we absolutely will be looking at U.S. special operations and perhaps regular forces on Mexican soil. Do I anticipate an invasion, quote unquote, of Mexico? That depends on how the border goes. Obviously, everyone can see in the news that right now we have Marines down on the border. We have Army down on the border. I believe a portion of the 82nd was sent down to the border. Portion of the 10th Mountain was sent down to the border. Marines from Camp Pendleton were sent to the border. These are active duty federal troops, not National Guard, not Texas State Rangers, not local militia. These are federal troops. It's hard to say how this relationship is going to evolve now. Will it evolve with them being essentially the new Afghanistan, like Peter Zion predicted in multiple videos of mine? And in a video that I had on January 28th, I included that video of our economic relationship with Mexico, and it goes deeper into further relations. I'm going to make sure that I link that into this. I certainly hope that everyone watches it. It's a good video. And it certainly has a little bit of the portents to it, because you can't just sign an order like this and expect there to be no consequences. So what my biggest concern is that this now will come across our border. We are going to probably, very likely, within the next couple of years, end up with a fully militarized border. So the border will be secured. It will very likely be fully militarized. I just had a horrible thought enter my head. I've seen too much from the Ukraine war. It's very possible we're going to see drone strikes from across the Mexican border into the United States, attacking Border Patrol and attacking U.S. troops with FPV-style drones. Ugh. God, that just entered my mind. This could get ugly now. This could get extremely ugly. We need to be prepared for the depth of what we just did. Again, what we just did was declared war on the Mexican drug cartels. These are bad guys who aren't going to take this lying down. Does that mean they're going to win? No. No. What it means is that we have to be prepared for bad news in this fight. We will have losses. And some things could be very, very ugly. Note what I said earlier in this video about some of the things they've done to their adversaries down in Mexico and across the Texas border, and the Texas bridges hanging bodies off them and things like that. This could get very extremely ugly. Think Fallujah. Think what happened to the contractors in Iraq and Fallujah. You Iraq war veterans will know exactly what I'm referring to. This is what we have just signed up for. We need to be prepared for it. Speaking personally, will the price be worth it? I do believe it will be. I do personally understand the cost. It's my hope that everyone watching this understands the cost of this as well. Because we just declared war on the Mexican drug cartels, as confirmed by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
The drug cartels have been declared terrorist organizations. And if you find that, and we know if there's Al Qaeda, we're going to hit them. I don't care if you're in Somalia, Sudan, or in Syria. If we find that they continue to fire at our border control and they continue to put fentanyl into our country, as the Secretary of Defense, are you permitted now to go after them in Mexico or wherever they are?
Brian, I don't want to get ahead of the president, and I won't. That's ultimately going to be his decision. But let me be clear, all options will be on the table. If we're dealing with what are designated to be foreign terrorist organizations who are specifically targeting Americans on our border. And we're finally securing our border. We've been securing other people's border for a very long time. The military is shifting toward an understanding of homeland defense on our sovereign territorial border. That is something we will do and do robustly.
So yes, Secretary Pete Hegseth confirms that with Donald Trump's order, we are allowed to target Mexican drug cartels. Be ready, guys. I know a lot of people are very happy about this. I am too. But I'm happy knowing we are going to pay a price. This will not be easy. This will not be free. And unfortunately, this will not be bloodless. I appreciate you guys swinging in, taking a listen. Again, just one more time. I had a video saying that this was going to be the case days ago. I'm going to make sure to link that. This was obvious. We've declared war on Mexican drug cartels. And we will see where it goes. Thank you.